Ostrich Inn. Some call this inn the third oldest pub in England, and while that's still up for debate, it has certainly been around for a long time, since 1106 when it was originally called the Hospice. Located in Colnbrook near Slough, the grisly history of this pub is said to have been the inspiration for the story of Sweeney Todd. The tale goes that in the 14th century, the inn's landlord built a trapdoor under the bed of the finest room that dropped directly into a vat of fat in the kitchen below. He used this contraption to quickly boil his wealthiest guests, who died with little signs of struggle. Around 60 people were killed in this way, and they are said to haunt the building to this day.
The ancient Ram Inn has been referred to as one of the most haunted houses in Britain. The house itself is said to have been the location of many sinister happenings, including child sacrifice, black magic rituals, and it was also used as a hideout by criminals. The owner believes that he shares his home with all sorts of supernatural beings, those of which include 2 demons, a witch, shadow people, orbs, and other ghostly presences. And many people who have visited the property have described it as the scariest place they've been to.
Borley Rectory. Located in the village of Borley in Essex, some people say this or was the most haunted house in England. Built in 1863, the mansion was built on the land of a church or monastery that had been there many centuries before. It was said that it was a place with many nasty events, including the hanging of a monk and a nun being bricked up alive in a room under the church. Not long after a family moved in did the ghostly goings-on begin. Sightings of nuns and a phantom carriage driven by a headless man, no less, were sightings that were said to have been spotted more than once. Doorbells were rung, windows smashed, and doors locked on their own accord, but other spooky goings-on within the walls of Borley Rectory. However, in 1939, the rectory burnt down in very mysterious circumstances.
The Daring Woods, also known as Screaming Woods, are situated in Kent, between the villages of Smarden and Pluckley. They're reputed to be the most haunted woods in Britain, and they were given their name because of the many reports of people hearing terrifying screams coming from the forest at night, or footsteps and whispers during days of fog. The forest is said to be haunted by the ghosts of the people who get lost in them. In particular, the locals mention a suicidal army colonel of the 18th century, and a highwayman who was captured by the villagers, pinned to a tree and beheaded. Many from the nearby villages swear to have seen black shadows following them while they were travelling across the forest. The woods is also famous for presenting one of the oldest Neolithic sites in the world. The woodland has been the centre of attention for this phenomena for many years. On the morning of November 1st, 1948, 20 people from the Maltlands area were found dead, 11 of whom were children. The bodies were forming a massive pile of human flesh and they didn't present any wound. Many reported seeing strange lights coming from the forest on the night of Halloween when the massacre took place. The autopsies couldn't determine the cause of death, and after a few weeks the local authorities quickly ended the investigation, stating that the cause was carbon monoxide poisoning. This behaviour raised questions about a possible involvement of the police in the matter at the time.
The most haunted house in London. Situated in Mayfair, central London, this townhouse is infamous for its hauntings and ghostly legends. It was built in around 1770 and served as the Prime Minister George Canning's residence for nearly 40 years before it was bought and sold on, ending up with oil company BP for some reason. Well known for having almost no reparations or additions made to the original structure, and looking almost the same as it did the year it was built, 50 Berkeley Square has some spooky stories to tell. The most common legend is that the ghost of a young woman haunts the attic, as she committed suicide there by jumping from one of the windows. Often said to manifest as a brown mist, though some claim it's a white lady shape they see, this ghost has been said to frighten people literally to death. The Prime Minister George Canning, who lived there after it was built, claimed to hear odd sounds and other ghostly happenings, and the man who bought it after him simply locked himself in the attic and went insane before he died. This man, Mr. Myers, no relation, has reportedly haunted visitors to the house, even causing deaths by those attempting to run away in terror. Others who have stayed in the attic have also gone mad in the same way as Mr. Myers. Interestingly, since the house was bought by its new owners in the 1930s, no ghostly activity of any kind has been reported, even by paranormal investigators. It's this sudden, unusual change of events that gets number 50 Berkeley Square into my list.